It is.
Time for pick and roll.
So we are on season 4, episode 1. So we always try to get something that, ties into that episode number. And since it's 1, we decided we were going to rank these NFL greats that are all number 1 in a particular category.
Yeah, I like this one. This was a good one.
And those players are Emmitt Smith, who's leading all-time in rushing, Jerry Rice, all-time in receiving, Adam Vinatieri, all-time in points, Paul Krause, all-time in interceptions, Ray Lewis, all-time in tackles, and Bruce Smith, all-time in sacks. We're going to rank them from 6 to 1. I will start us off, and then, Ron, you can give us your list.
The real one.
At 6, I went Paul Krause. 81 interceptions, 1,185 yards, 3 touchdowns, 19 fumble recoveries, 3 of those for touchdowns, 8-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro, 1-time champ. But here's where I started. This is how I got my list and why I said it wasn't as impressive because the number 2 guy, Emlyn Tunnel, had 79. So he only had 2 more interceptions. So from a standpoint of, yes, you're number 1, but it was pretty close. Like there's a guy that almost was right behind you. So I kind of held that against him.
Oh, I hope you're not putting Vinatieri at number 1.
At 5.
I hope.
At 5. Kickers need love too. At 5, Bruce Smith.
Oh, come on.
And I'm going to explain to you why. First of all, 1,075 solo tackles, 1,224 combined. All time. Wait a minute now, Ron. Pay attention. Pay attention.
I'm not taking Vinatieri over him.
Pay attention. Pay attention. How many sacks did Bruce Smith have? 200. Okay. 43 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions, 15 fumble recoveries, 1 touchdown, 11-time Pro Bowler, 8-time All-Pro, 8-time Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, just AP, DIE, or whatever they were, right? So he had 8 of those. You know who's number 2 on the list? Reggie White at 198. So he had 2 more sacks than Reggie White. So he didn't dominate like, holy cow, he's got 50 more sacks than anybody else in NFL history. He had 2 more than Reggie White. So I didn't, that's why.
Out of your mind.
And he didn't have a championship.
Out of your mind.
At 4, number 4, Adam Vinatieri.
Come on.
2,673 points, 83.8% field goals, 599 out of 715, 97.3% extra points, 874 out of 898. 3-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro, 4-time champion, Ron. 4. So his number 4 means a lot to him. Morton Anderson was second at 25.44. So he had over 130 plus points, more than Adam Vinatieri had more than almost 130 points more. So I thought that was a little more impressive because there's not a guy as close.
There is something wrong with you.
Why? I'm looking at the second guy. The second guy. Okay. Anyway, at 3, Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice. Okay. 1,500. I knew I would get to you tonight.
Your list is garbage.
49 receptions, 22,895 yards, 14.8 yards per reception. Phenomenal. 197 touchdowns. You know, he also had 87 attempts rushing, 645 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Man, he had over 200 touchdowns. 13 Pro Bowls, 10 All-Pros, 3 championships, 2 MVPs, 5 Players of the Year, 1 Super Bowl MVP. Phenomenal.
You can't be serious.
Larry Fitzgerald, 1,432. So Jerry Rice had about 110 more yards, 10 more receptions than Larry Fitzgerald. God. But I put him at 3 because I went 2, Emmitt Smith. Numbers speak for themselves.
Yeah, sure.
4,409 attempts, 18,355 yards, a 4.2 yards per average, 164 touchdowns, 515 receptions as well for 3,224 yards. So if you combine the yards, they're about the same as Jerry Rice. 11 touchdowns receiving, 8-time Pro Bowl, 4-time All-Pro, 3-time champ, 4-time MVP, 1 Super Bowl MVP, and he's The guy that was behind him, Walter Payton at 1672. He's almost 2,000 yards more than Walter Payton. Pretty damn impressive if you think about Walter Payton. At 1, I had Ray Lewis. The guy's a tackling machine. He dominated. Solo tackles, 1,568. Combined, 2,059. 2,059. 19 forced fumbles, 41 and a half sacks, 31 interceptions, 20 fumble recoveries. He had 3 of those for touchdowns, 12-time Pro Bowler, 7-time All-Pro, 2-time champ. Ron, how many times you hear a defensive player be Super Bowl MVP? This man was. He was a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. London Fletcher was second at 1,384, and that was 200 less tackles than Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis, by far, my number one. My number one for number one.
You're out of your mind.
I am not.
You have completely lost it, and you have no clue
Okay.
on
Okay.
on what this segment is supposed to be about.
Oh, I don't. Okay. Okay. Do tell. Do tell.
First of all, we're not comparing them to the guy second on the list.
Why not?
Why?
Because they're more dominant than the guy that. So
but
if you
not
beat
a
somebody,
choice in this. They're not a choice.
I'm not doing it by a choice.
You
I'm
are
saying,
given these players as a choice.
yes.
Okay. So basically, it's who you're going to pick over the other guys in this list.
And you take every factor into account. No different than what you do with championships or yards per game or how many games they've played or blah, blah, blah.
I'm taking the best player. Best player.
That's what I did.
And number 6, I have Paul Krause.
Okay. Agreed.
It's just numbers didn't wow me.
Okay.
Like 81 interceptions. Okay. But
second best was 79. Again, he didn't blow the competition away.
They didn't avoid throwing it to that side of the field. It wasn't even thought of back then. Okay, so 81. Okay, so if they kept throwing the ball to Deion Sanders' side, Deion Sanders would have shattered that record. So Paul Krause, I put at number 6. 3 Pro Bowl, 3 All-Pros. 3 All-Pro. That was one of the numbers here that meant a lot to me. They're all pros because you're talking about different positions.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, I went with Adam Vinatieri.
Okay.
Same thing, 3 All-Pro, but he did win the 4 Super Bowls, so I gave him the nod over Krause. You know, and a couple of those Super Bowl wins was because of Adam Vinatieri.
Mm-hmm. It's only a kicker. Okay. It doesn't matter.
But I'm not taking the other 4 guys.
According to you.
I'm not taking him over anybody else in this list.
You contradict yourself every time because you say championships matter. And a guy you're gonna put a guy ahead of him that never won a championship.
I am. Because that guy is just so good, it doesn't matter.
He's so much better than Reggie White, who had 198. Okay.
Reggie White isn't on this list. Reggie White isn't on this list.
He's not dominating that category, though. You're making it sound, yes, he's number 1.
But he's number not 1. On this
he's a
list.
Sneeze. It's a sneeze.
I'm looking at the players, and I'm going to take the best player.
Okay.
The best player.
Okay.
At number 4, I'm taking Emmitt Smith at number 4. Look, I love him as a player. Love him as a player. And I would love all these guys on my team. But
go ahead.
It just wasn't enough for me.
Okay, yeah.
And even though he has the 2 MVPs.
And 5, no, he has 4 MVPs. But go ahead.
You can't add all those things up because some of them are the same years.
It's 2 different categories, but now we can't. Okay. Did he get 2 different awards that year?
MVPs for the same year.
He got 2 awards for that year from 2 different things. But okay.
It's not.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You have no clue. No clue.
Absolutely, I don't.
I don't want your Christmas card.
I don't want you to ever say championships matter ever again. Because if you do, and you put a guy ahead of a guy because of a championship, you're full of crap. Vinatieri should be 6 on this list, then, according to your numbers. Go ahead. Championships don't matter. Go ahead. Keep going. Emmitt Smith won 3. You're going to put a guy ahead of him he won 3 championships. Okay.
I'm taking the best player.
Okay. Remember those words.
I'm
We've got a
taking
long season.
the
We've got a
best
long
player.
season. Long season. Go ahead. Season 4.
Bruce Smith, Ray Lewis, Jerry Rice. That's my list. Move on.
Ray Lewis at 3?
No.
You're off. Yeah. What'd you say?
Ray Lewis was 2.
Oh, 2. So Bruce Smith at 3.
Yes.
Vinatieri was a shoot. I don't know what a shoot. What is a shoot, James? James, thanks for joining us live. At Vinatieri at 4. I thought that was a good number. He put up more points than any other of those guys, but it don't matter. It don't matter. That's.
I'm not taking a kicker over those guys. Not taking a kicker over Bruce Smith. You're out of your mind.
4 championships. Doesn't matter though. And you even said he won them. He wasn't a kicker that just got championships. He won championships.
And this is why my team would beat your team in the championship. Period.
Who won Super Bowl for the Patriots? The first one. Oh, that would be Adam Vinatieri. Who won the second one? Oh, that would be Adam Vinatieri. But we're not going to count those. I mean, because again, he didn't have a hand in them. Anyway, James joining.
He didn't have a hand in it. He had a foot in it.
He had a foot.